So recently, Elon Musk has praised drone technologies for how successful they have been in the wars in Ukraine mainly, I believe some in Israel, and how he's saying that manned fighter jets like the F-35 and other manned vehicles are just a waste of money, and that only idiots would still be building manned fighter jets like the F-35. There are multiple things that Elon Musk is wrong with. Now, obviously, Elon Musk is a really smart guy. I mean, he literally reused a rocket that was sent up into space and then brought down and re-entered, and one that was caught on a pole, which is very impressive, and he's a smart guy. But here's where he's wrong. So the U.S. Air Force is currently working, well, they've actually put this on pause with some recent discoveries, which is unrelated to this topic. But they've been working on this for a while, and it was recently put on hold. They're probably going to start it back up. But it's called Next Generation Air Dominance, which is short for NGAD, Next Generation Air Dominance. Okay. So Next Generation Air Dominance program is a program for the U.S. Air Force where they're building a air superiority fighter, which is probably capable of multi-role, meaning capable of taking down other planes or capable of attacking units on the ground, like tanks and stuff like that. Now, the thing with Next Generation Air Dominance is that it's going to have AI-enabled drone wingmen. So not just drones controlled by stupid little humans, it's drones controlled by AI. And they're basically just going to be using algorithms to detect something. So the AI is going to look at me and it's like, oh, there's an enemy soldier right there. It'll alert the pilot, or if it'll launch a weapon at me or something like that. Not sure, but Elon Musk, you are wrong there. We are working on unmanned technology. And even then, drones aren't really that good. And here's why. So as you know, the drone technologies, they use electronic signals from both the controller to the drone that's being controlled, right? So there's a lot of weaknesses when something is relying on electricity. So let me introduce you to the aircraft called the EA-6B Prowler. This aircraft, which the EA stands for electronic attack, is an electronic warfare aircraft. So its main job is to jam signals and stuff like that. So it has its jamming pods right here, and its main purpose is just to jam other people's, like other nations or enemies, electric signals to jam drones. And I'll show you how that works in a second. It also carries a AIM-9 Sidewinder missile for self-defense. The newer versions of this aircraft are on a different airframe, so it has a different number to it, but it still carries the EA part to it. In this next clip, I'm going to show you how the electronic signals work to jam other countries' signals. So to use something that is most familiar with most people that use the internet, Wi-Fi. So your Wi-Fi router is this thing right here, obviously, and this is your phone right here, obviously. Now, the less obvious thing, how does Wi-Fi work? So we all know that it is wireless, because if you're connected up to a Wi-Fi router and you're carrying your phone, you're going to have to carry your Wi-Fi router. It's pretty absurd. So we use wireless signals, obviously, with this phone, and you're using the internet right now to watch this video. So if you can watch this video without any interruptions, that means you have a Wi-Fi signal like this. But here's what happens if you have a bad Wi-Fi signal, and this is related to the aircraft that I was talking about. The reason why you have bad Wi-Fi is probably because there's another phone. You have another phone right here that is trying to send its own signal. Let's just say you're sitting next to someone right now, and they want to send a text message to somebody on the other side of the earth. So they have to have their own signal that is going through it, and they're using your same Wi-Fi, right? So the Wi-Fi is obviously having to send out more waves. But what this does is that when the signal is trying to get through to the other person's phone so they can receive the message, what they're doing is they're interrupting your video experience right now. So if this starts to buffer, maybe tell the person next to them to turn their Wi-Fi off, or just move away from them, or get a better plan. Don't use AT&T. My bad, AT&T. I use you guys for Wi-Fi. Anyway, so the reason why your video may be buffering is because another signal is getting in the way. It's kind of like trying to walk through another person. You get in their way. Thankfully, due to improvements in technology, a lot of people in a concentrated area can use their phones without any interruptions. Here's where the EA-6B Prowler comes into play, and other modern aircraft. I will be introducing more aircraft in a second, but we're just going to focus on how the electronic warfare takes place. So here's where that Wi-Fi example is relevant to this right here. So with the way that drone technology works is that you have a controller and then you have the drone right here. So the controller is going to have like a remote control in their hands, right? And it's going to be sending signals to the drone, and it's gonna be inputs into the drone. Then the drone will output something. So let's just say if I move the stick right here, the drone's gonna go into that direction because that's what the signal is telling the drone to do. Okay, and now you need like a stable signal to keep the drone in the air, because if you've flown drones before, you know that there's one stick to control and then there's one stick to go get the drone higher or lower. And so if you can just disrupt these waves, the drone's gonna fall out the sky. Now, unlike your Wi-Fi thing where it's only one signal that's disrupting your video that you may be watching, and thus why it's like a little bit of buffer, then the video plays, then a little buffer, then the video plays. But the thing with the EA-6B Growler, or just any electronic warfare aircraft, especially the new and improved ones, what they do is, when they send their signals out, I'm just going to draw it like this. When they send their signals out, it's an overwhelming amount of signals. What it will do is it will overwhelm these signals to the point where none can get through at all. So unlike your one phone that is disrupting your video, it's just one wave that's coming out. But this plane just destroys all those signals. There's going to be no input for the drone. The drone is going to fall out the sky and it's going to be useless. And that's how simple it is to just get a drone out of the air. And with improvements in technology such as the F-35, which is right here, and you have the newer version of the EA-6B Growler, the Prowler, instead of the EA-6B Prowler, you have the EAG-18 Growler aircraft, not Prowler, Growler, which is a cooler name in my opinion. So the difference between one aircraft and the other one is that the EA-18 Growler is a modified version of the F-18 Super Hornet. And if you know anything about that aircraft, you know that aircraft is maneuverable and harder to shoot down. And with the F-35, that aircraft is almost impossible to target. You may detect it, but you will not be able to take it out of the sky. Meaning you will have so many electronic warfare aircrafts up in the sky, such as the F-35, which Elon Musk criticized. It can just stay up in the air as long as it needs. It can aerially refuel, as shown in this picture right here. It can stay as long as the pilot can stay in the air, jamming all those fancy little drones that Elon Musk thinks that are better than the F-35. And that's just how easy it is to take out a drone out of the sky. I forgot to mention one last thing about the F-35s and just other electronic aircraft. I'll cover the F-35 in a separate video, but basically the U.S. has 600 of them, and I believe 400 across the world, so in total 1,000 F-35s all over the world. And so if a F-35 pilot has an issue on board, or is just tired, or is ordered back to base, or if they cannot aerial refuel, as I talked about in the videos, another F-35 could cover the role of jamming the drones and whatnot. And normally, U.S. pilots, I'm not a pilot yet, not yet, but pilots, they normally always travel in pairs and hunt in pairs, just in case one aircraft has an issue, the other aircraft can take over for a little bit until they can get more backup. So it is pretty much foolproof. Elon Musk's drone swarm, his appreciation for drone swarm is a little overrated. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Bye.